Today I will make a sea turtle using polymer clay. When I buy polymer clay, it comes wrapped up in plastic like this. So I remove the plastic and it has these kind of little sections that it comes in. I cut those apart and I knead it. Now, if it's really hard to knead, you can kind of hold it in your hand for a while. That warmth of your skin will make it more malleable or easier to knead. So sometimes I just hold it really tight until it gets a little bit softer, and then it should be easier to work. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with each of the colors that I am using today. I'm going with a chromatic look, monochromatic look, meaning one color but various shades or values of that color. So I have a couple different variations of purple for mine. You don't have to use monochromatic colors if you don't want to, but that is my plan. On each of these pieces, I'm going to make kind of nice and malleable. All right, I'm going to divide one of them into 3 sections here, kind of put that off to the side. And I'm going to start off with my 2 larger ones for my actual turtle. These I'm going to go ahead and roll into a ball and get them ready to begin the project. I have my 2 lighter colors that I've turned into a ball. I'm going to pick one of them and start flattening out the ball to make the shape of the turtle's shell. Now, I don't want it to make it too flat because I will be kind of pushing it or flattening it more later, but I do want to kind of get it into the shape, and it's a little bit more pointed on the bottom and a little more rounded on the top. So I'm kind of working that in just gently with my fingers. You can use the surface of your table or work surface to kind of help get a nice flat edge there. And then I want to show you about how wide it is too. So you can see I don't want to take it too narrow, too skinny. I want to still leave some of the width on it there. I'm rolling that width, the side of the shell, on my table as well. Next, I'm going to take one of the small ones and I want to form it into the turtle's head. So I'm going to start by just pinching the ball a little bit because this will kind of give the turtle a neck that I will be able to connect to the shell. I can pinch the front a little bit too for the head shape, but I really want to get that neck pretty thin so that I can attach it to the bottom of the front part of the shell. So I'm going to push that down. And then I'm going to use my finger to kind of blend the 2 together, kind of by going over it a couple times to get a good connection between the shell and the turtle's head. That way when it bakes, hopefully it will stay connected. Next, I want to do the back legs of the turtle. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of the small balls and break it into 2. I'm going to kind of roll them back up into little ones again, and I want to make these into the leg shapes of a sea turtle. Now, sea turtles use their legs to go through the water, so it's like fins kind of, so they are more of a triangular shape. So I'm just making kind of a small triangular shape like this, and then I'm going to attach it at the bottom part of the shell, just like that, as the back leg. I'm going to go ahead and do the second one the same way. So I'm just pinching with my fingers to get the basic shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it under the shell, trying to kind of make sure that they're about in the same spot. Then I can flip my turtle over and work on getting them nice and smoothly connected to the shell. Using my hands, my fingers to do that. You could also use a tool. If you have a tool, sometimes the blending or the tools can use to help create a solid connection between the shell and the legs as well. So you can kind of practice or experiment, especially on the bottom of the shell where you won't really be looking much. And that can kind of help give you a nice connection for the turtles. All right, I still need the front two legs for my turtle. And those also will be kind of that rectangular shape. So I'm going to go ahead and break this into two and make them into triangle shapes, sorry, not rectangle shapes. And these ones should be a little bit flatter and a little bit bigger than the back ones. So I'm kind of flattening the clay out just a little bit more. And I want these to be longer than the ones in the back. So they should be a little bit bigger coming out of the turtle. Here's my second one. I'm going to go ahead and flatten these out quite a bit more here, make them larger, and then I'm going to add that to my shell as well for my turtle. I'm going to connect those to the bottom part of the shell by smoothing them out and rubbing them until there's a nice connection. And I just want to make sure that my connection's good. So I'm going to take a little bit of my other color here and I want to roll it into a ball and flatten it. And I'm going to use this kind of as the bottom part of the shell to kind of hold the head and the arms and legs in place so that they do not move or come undone. So I'm going to just kind of use this little pancake here to go over those. And I can use a tool or I can use my finger just to kind of make sure that there's a good connection that's got a good base and it's not going to go anywhere. Here's my turtle so far. I mean, I could totally leave it like this, but at this point it's kind of fun to add decorations. So turtles have all kinds of those little, I guess, scales on their arms and legs. So I'm going to go ahead and just make little dots using kind of a pointed tool. If you don't have a clay tool, you could always use the tip of a pencil, or even a mechanical pencil without the lead would work really well for this. But I just wanted to give that extra texture. You could do the top and the bottom of your turtle's legs, but I am just going to do the tops for now. I'm liking that addition. With my extra clay that I still have left, I want to create a fun pattern or design on the turtle shell. Now you could try to make it look realistic like a real sea turtle, or you could just kind of have fun and create your own little pattern or design. I thought it would be fun, instead of just using regular shapes that would be on a regular sea turtle, maybe making one that looked like a specific shape in the center and then going around it. So I think I want to make my center actually the shape of a heart, and then I'm going to put all of the shapes around the heart on my turtle. So I made a little ball and I'm kind of poking at the top center of the ball for the indent part of the heart, and then I'm pinching the bottom to make it come down to a point. And I'm going to put that right in the center of my turtle shell, And then I'm going to make sure to press it down with my fingers really well so that it doesn't come undone. The rest of the shell, I'm just going to use really little pieces of clay, and I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to try to leave a little bit of space between these pieces so you can see kind of through the shell. So this would be a fun time, like if you had other friends with different colors, you could swap some colors and you could make it a very bright and colorful shell, or you could just do it all one color like I'm doing. You can really have fun with this. Polymer clay too, once you've baked it, you can always add paint to it as well. So I could bake this and then I could maybe touch it up with a little bit of paint, maybe even get fancy and add like some gold or some silver paint to it just to add some character or excitement. So I'm going to go ahead and make these little shapes all the way around my turtle until the whole shell is covered. You can try to kind of press the shell on the table like I just did, or it may help just to kind of pull at some of these shapes on the edges here with a tool or with your fingers to make sure that there's a good part of them that are connected. So this can be something that takes some patience, but it will really help in the long run keep your turtle looking good. So you may want to take the extra time to go ahead and connect these pieces to help make your turtle's connections really strong so that he will be more sturdy once he is baked in the oven. I'm just using a pointed tool, but again, you could use your fingers, you could use the end of your pencil, paper clip, a toothpick, whatever you've got around. Now I also wanted to show you how I do eyes. So I actually poke some holes where I want the eyes, and you could just leave those holes as your eyes if you want. That works just fine as well. Or you can take another piece of clay and get, a really, really tiny piece and roll it up into a really, really tiny ball and then put them inside of those holes. It is important to make those holes first when adding eyes so that those eyes will stick and they won't just fall off. So if you do want to add sections like that, I do recommend making the holes first and then putting the little tiny dots inside of them to make the eyes. Sometimes after adding the little dots in the eyes, I also like to poke a hole in those just to give the eyes a little bit of extra dimension. So I'm going to use my little pointed tool here to add little holes inside of the eyes as well. All right, I also wanted to add a mouth. You don't have to, you could just leave it. I'm just going to add a mouth by adding kind of a little indent into the clay at the front part of the turtle. So I'm using kind of the side of my poker tool here and just kind of adding a little indent to make the turtle very happy with his little mouth. I'll do that quick, and now he is a smiling turtle. Some of the clay needs adjustment, so you can always kind of adjust it, but yeah, there you go, looking pretty cute. So now my turtle is all set and ready to bake. I will put him on some wax paper and put him in the oven according to my clay's instructions. And there you have it, a polymer clay sea turtle. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and Come visit my channel, Ehlke Art, for more fun art tutorials.